Hello there, friend. Welcome back to Max Answers Writing Advice Questions. Of course, we're continuing the month of October in preparation for National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo. And I've come back here. I've got my enormous pool of writing questions, all arranged in a really nice table, and I'm going to be rolling the dice and see which ones pop up. But before I go anywhere, I want to remind you that I am still taking questions, so leave them in the comments down below. And if I don't get to it within the next few videos or so, then you have nothing to worry about, because I'm going to be doing a huge, enormous National Novel Writing Month Writing Advice Answer-a-thon at the end of the month. So we're talking like hours of me answering questions, so don't worry about it. I'm going to answer all of your questions in due time. Now, before I start answering questions, allow me to give you, as always, the formal disclaimer and remind you that the following is merely just my advice, my opinion, and what works for me. Don't take it as gospel, instead take it as the ramblings of a silly person who shot like the beginning of this video, but then stopped because I didn't get enough coffee, so... Coffee is the blood life of every writer. That or tea. Tea's also good. So with silliness out of the way, let's dive right in. You know the format. I've got a bunch of questions. I'm gonna roll the dice, a random number generator, RNG, and we're gonna see what number we get. The first question for today is gonna be numero 17. 17, walk up the stage. You are the next. You're the first question in today's episode. Number 17. I am worried that showing scenes of my characters talking and sharing their feelings is a waste of time because I'm not moving the story forward. Consider this a wonderful chance to talk about what I consider to be one of my rules of writing. One of my, I don't want to say hard rules because it's not really a rule, but it's something I learned in college called the Marcy rule. Who is Marcy? Marcy Allen Craig was my wonderful professor in college, and she taught creative writing classes, and I think she still does. And she had this one rule. And I nicknamed it the Marcy rule. And the rule is this: plot/story arises from character, not the other way around. That means that people, and I've been saying this forever now, that if you notice, people think that plot is the big end all to storytelling. Plot is the thing you should be looking forward to. Plot is the most important thing. Plot is all bow before the plot, and I don't think so. Plot is the byproduct of characters taking choices, taking actions, and standing for what they believe in. So now that you know what the Marcy rule is, let's backtrack a little bit. Is characters talking and sharing their feelings a waste of time? I don't think so. Again, as I've said in the past, for me, stories are all about character. I love me a good story about character development and just personal growth. I love that. And those stories boil down to a lot of talking and sharing of feelings. And when you think about it, wouldn't the dramatical climax to a story about personal growth be people finally sitting down and sharing their feelings? I think so. I think characters talking and sharing how they feel about things can be some of the most meaningful moments in writing. So, again, are those a waste of time? I don't think so. I know that people think that plot is about the big things, the enormous things of human life, such as war and peace and poverty against wealth and the upper class against the lower class and many other things like that. And I'm not saying it's not. But for me, the most exciting stuff, for me, has got to be about character. People making choices, people acting on those choices, and people having to stand for what they believe in. To me, that is the most fun in writing. Whether that involves war and combat and fight scenes and giant robots, or just a teenager coming to terms with the past. A person moving forward in their life, letting go of the baggage of the past, and finally welcoming in the future. All these things can be meaningful. It doesn't have to be about war, though it can be. It doesn't have to be the Fellowship of the Ring, though it can be. It can just be about people talking and sharing their feelings. And it just got hot here all of a sudden. I think it's because I was just too energetic about characters. I think this question falls right into the cross point of writing advice and partially life advice. Who told you that people talking and sharing their feelings is not moving the plot forward? Who told you that? And question why they told you that, and question why do you still believe that? I want you to take a moment to just consider that particular question, why you feel that way, and analyze whether you want to maintain those feelings or just disarm them. Remember that you are an individual of your own. No matter how young you are right now, or how inexperienced you think you are, you can always formulate your own opinion about the world and create your own way of going about looking at things and believing things. Analyze what you've been told, disarm it or endorse it. Simple as that. Somebody told you that characters talking and sharing their feelings doesn't advance the plot, and I'm here to stand and disagree with that statement. I think it does. I think some stories are about characters talking and sharing their feelings, and somebody out there may tell you that's nothing happening. I disagree. I disagree because some of the most meaningful moments in my life were when I finally sat down and shared my feelings with other people. So, I hope that helps, and I hope that if anything, I gave you my point of view. Now, with that dramatic question out of the way that went for a little bit too long, let's dive into the next question. So, let me just adjust the numbers to make sure that we're not having like any phantom questions showing up there, and let's roll the dice. The next question is number 15. 15, you are the next contestant. Oh, okay, I like this question because it's really attached to what we just did. Hey Max, I just watched your episode on fight scenes and I was wondering, could a fight scene that appears to have no consequences work? The fight scene changes nothing, but the characters have to deal with the impermanence of their actions. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with what this is referencing, I did a video on how to write combat and fight scenes. You can find it on my channel. Just search for combat or writing combat and it should bring it up to you. It's really recent, like a couple weeks ago. And in it I talked that to me, the most exciting stuff about fight scenes is not exactly the fight scene itself, but rather the consequences of fight scenes. And in this particular question, I think there's one of those issues of is this really a problem? Because here's the dealio. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight. If you are young, if you're still in high school, I'm going to give you one of the secrets of the world, okay? Leaning close, I'll tell you. Words mean different things to everybody. One of the things that I learned from doing freelance work and working at a giant company, not the Death Star, totally not the Death Star, totally not working for Emperor Palpatine. One thing that I learned is that you have to be really clear with communication. Why? Because words mean different things to everybody. When you tell me that your characters have a fight scene and that nothing is changed, but yet people have to deal with the impermanence of their actions, which really just the consequences of their actions, then things are changing. There are consequences. Something happened, and now your character has to react to what happened after that. I think that's consequences. Again, let's backtrack, like I just told you. Words mean different things to everybody. And when I said in the video, I love it when a fight has consequences, immediate consequences. It's totally understandable that you would think to yourself, oh, well, my character dealing with the repercussions of what they did is not really immediate consequences. And I think it is. I think it actually is. Something that wasn't there before is sprung because of the fight. It is almost like in a timeline, the split. The split between fighting and not fighting. And I don't think it has to be a huge difference, but I think it has to be something. It doesn't have to be an enormous consequence like, oh, this character now lost an arm and a leg. No, it can just be the character dealing with shame, everyone around them looking at them differently. Little changes can be enormous changes when you think about it. Again, just like with the previous question, people think that in writing things have to be enormous and dramatic. And they can be, sure. Sometimes the little things can matter the most, such as your character realizing that after they got into a fight, their parents don't trust them anymore. Their parents don't really look at them like they used to. And I think, again, little differences, little changes, little repercussions to the choices your character makes mean a lot. So, do I think that a scene that has no consequences work? What do you mean by no consequences? Because a character having to deal with the things that they did is a consequence. It's not an enormous consequence. Don't mind my timer going off, but it's still consequences. I think the only way that a scene would have no consequences whatsoever would be that nothing absolutely comes from it. There are no repercussions, nobody has to deal with anything, and it's never referenced ever again. That is what I would consider to be basically a pointless scene. But like what you're describing, your character has to deal with the immediate things that follow up with that fight. Then that's a consequence, it's meaningful. Move it over. We have time for one more question, I think. Yes, one, maybe two, depending on how the time goes. So let me just adjust the number of questions that we have on the random table. And let's roll the dice. The next question is going to be number 4. Question number 4. Oh, wow, we're going to have 4 questions in this video because this is easy. What novel editing software do you use? Thanks, by the way, I love your videos. I actually answered this question, but I put it on the list because I wanted to answer it in a video. Because I haven't talked about this in a little while. I use 2 programs, one for writing and one for editing my books. What do I use for writing? I use a program called Focuswriter. I made a video on it, look it up on my channel. Focuswriter, one word. It's a free and what I consider to be the best writing software around. It's free. It's on every platform. I mean, I think it's Linux, Mac, and PC. So basically everything but Ubuntu, I think. It's on basically all platforms. It's free. It's amazing. It has a lot of customization, and you can turn off all the things you don't care for. And I literally go watch that video. I literally have nothing on my screen, and it's super amazing, distraction free, and I love it. So Focusrite all the way. What do I use for editing? I use Evernote. Evernote, again, free program, cloud storage, really amazing program. I made 2 videos on it. That's how much I love that program. Evernote is awesome, and it's also free, and it's on every platform. Like, I can edit on my computer and then go and read over my edits on my phone. It's amazing. I love Evernote. So yeah, that's what I use. I use Focusrite for writing and Evernote for editing. And it just got really hot all of a sudden, and it's screwing up with my lighting. Now, really quickly, it's a little bit of a bonus detail within this question. I recently got a Chromebook because I wanted something to be able to write outside with, and I don't want to take my wonderful laptop outside. And I bought a Chromebook, which, are laptops made by, or that use the Chrome OS, which is, Google's web browser. And people ask me, what do I use for writing on it? And I use a free Chrome web app called Writer, just Writer. And it's amazing. I love it. I fully recommend it. It's free to use. It has customization in it, which I always appreciate. And you can use it online and offline. Perfect. So for once, this video hasn't gone on super long, so I'm going to do one more question. One more question for you. I'm going to roll the dice and see what we get. Get one more question in this video, and the number is going to be number 17. Hi, Max. I have a story planned out, but I'm having difficulty with writing a summary description for the book. If I end up wanting to publish it, it needs to have a good description. That is a good point. It is absolutely a good point. If you want to publish it, you should have a good description. You are correct. Let me start on my timer because it's going to be really quick. Yes, it should have a good description. Does it matter right now? No, it doesn't. I like that you actually pointed out that you were planning the story. I mean, you haven't even written the story, and if you have been following my videos or anybody else, you know that how I feel about planning stories. The planning for your story is merely just setting the foundation, and most of what you plan is gonna go out the window the instant you start writing. Why? Because the story is its own thing, its own individual, and it's gonna grow and develop as you write the story. Now, I know that you probably want to have a description for like your NaNoWriMo page or whatever you're putting up this book, and honestly, I would recommend you, and I mean, I'm gonna touch on how to do a quick description in a moment, but I want you to understand that don't worry about it. Really, honestly, don't worry about the description for your book, or the title even, because things like these are gonna change over the course of writing. If you already have a title, perfect, awesome, good for you. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It's okay to have code names. It's okay to not know what the story is about because the story is gonna grow and evolve as you write it. Worrying about the description right now, worrying about the description for publishing is, and I hate to be this blunt, it's a waste of time. It's a total waste of time because you haven't even written the story. So don't worry about it. Now, really quickly, how to write the description for a book, or a really quick blurb to get people excited, especially if you have like an NaNoWriMo page or something. First off, grab a piece of paper, your favorite writing program, and I want you to, in one sentence, and this is gonna be really freaking hard, in one sentence, describe what your story is about. And in one sentence, without any freaking commas. No commas. No commas. And skip names if you have to. Don't give me what your story's about in one sentence. No commas. Really short sentence, really freaking quickly. Now you may be thinking to yourselves, Max, this is really hard. I can't do it. Do it. Just do it. Now, once you have this, consider this super summarized, super distilled version of your story against what the story is actually about, and find the middle point. And I like to have my blurbs for my stories be literally probably like 5, 6 sentences at most. 5 is too much, actually. 5 sentences at most. And how I get in the mood for writing a blurb, here's what I do. I get myself into the movie narrator voice. In a time when society has gone too far, when technology has blurred the line between man, woman, non-binary person, and machine, one person seeks to make a difference. Get yourself in that voice. Or also the voice of the lady from, I mean, it's okay, I know who the character is, but the lady from the Lord of the Rings who narrates the books at the beginning, get into that voice. Get into character, literally create this movie person character, and try to find a way to narrate those 5 sentences that describe your story And I know what you're thinking, but Max, my story is so much more involved than 5 sentences. I know. And I know you have side plots and side characters and you want to talk about how awesome they are. You gotta summarize your story. Why? Because when people want to read your work or are looking to be impressed, you have to grab them. Grab them and give them an idea. Really, ultimately, when you think about it, go read the blurbs for all the books that you like and notice that their blurbs are super summarized. And really, when you think about it, that story could have been something else entirely. Why? Because the blurb is not there to summarize what your book is about. It's there to get people excited, to want to read the book. Kinda like a movie trailer. So, really quickly, once again, take a moment to summarize your story in 1 sentence, no freaking commas. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be really hard. But once you do, you're gonna have the nugget. And from there, you spring the story forward. 5 sentences maximum, and read it out loud in that movie trailer voice, and it should be able to get you into the right mood. Is it gonna be hard? Is it gonna be difficult? Of course it is. It absolutely is gonna be. But it's gonna make a really good blurb that is gonna get people excited. I know that people are gonna disagree on that, and that's why I'm only giving you my point of view. But I've always found that blurbs, especially for publishing, blurbs that are several paragraphs long are super ineffective. Why? Because unless it deals with multiple points of view and each paragraph talks about a point of view, which is good, because it's kind of like multiple stories within one book. But having a multiple paragraphs, like I remember people submitting books that were like four paragraphs that were like 5 sentences each, and I'm like, dude, this is literally like half a page of writing. You cannot expect people to be excited for your book when you're demanding like 5 minutes of reading to even know what your story's about. Summarize it, make it exciting, and just sell it to people. Simple as that. Is it gonna be easy? Nope, not at all. I hate writing descriptions, but you have to do it though, because ultimately, what purpose does this blurb serve? What is the purpose of this quick description? To get people excited. So make it excited. Make it jumpy. Make it interesting. Make it the one thing that they need to read because it's awesome and you wrote it. But yes, that's really hot. Pretty much all I have to say about today's questions. If you have your own points of view or questions you would like to submit for the answer-a-thon, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.